I've written an open letter to religious leaders. Over the past few weeks, we have witnessed a world in confusion. Governments out of control, religion floundering with unsubstantial doctrines, race relations in dire circumstances. The question is, why is all of this happening? I'm sure it's happened in the past, but the difference is there are 7 billion people living on this planet today. And our technology has gotten to the place where within minutes, our society as we know it can cease to exist. There must be a reason for all of this. Our religious leaders must stand in the gap for all. You chose your profession, and you are responsible for teaching God's plan. As religious leaders, you must begin to think clearly and purposefully about what God wants and what He desires in the lives of all people. You must consider some of your doctrines that you have been teaching for many years. These doctrines have been with us for many years, and yet the Bible plainly states that this world has been deceived. We must consider the fact that when heretics could no longer be thrown to the lions, another way had to be found to keep them in line. Dante's Inferno was written, and church leaders accepted that despicable teaching. Dante's admonition was, all who enter these gates abandon all hope. Really? A God of love that says to your sons and your daughters, if we ponder the kidnapping of the 3 girls in Cleveland and the 10 years of trouble, torture, and anguish that these girls suffered, we can rightfully say that the person that committed this despicable act was a psychopath and some kind of a mental derelict. Anguish and captivity for many years with dim hope of eventual rescue. And yet, our religious leaders accuse the great Creator of doing the same thing. The difference is our religious leaders say that you will be in captivity for all eternity, suffering unmentionable torment with no hope. I ask you, have you thought about what you are teaching? We cannot attribute evil to God, and yet that is what we do. God takes no pleasure in the death of anyone, let alone the eternal punishment of anyone. I've heard said that about 90% of all people that have lived on this earth will go to hell. Really? Is that what we believe from a God that says He is a God of love? Respectfully, L. Wayne, author, on Facebook. I have written a book titled The Purpose of Human Existence. This is a fairly short book explaining why God made us physical and limited our lives to approximately 70 years. There's a chapter in this book called A Conversation. It's a conversation between God and Christ and why they needed to create us physical before allowing us into their world. It's an exciting book because it is logical and it includes every human being that has ever lived. Your life is more valuable than you know and much more valuable than religious leaders have told you. This book is on Amazon.com, but you can also find it on Facebook at L. Wayne Author. Thanks.